The following program is intended for a mature listening audience. Graphic and explicit language may be heard at times. The views expressed and opinions given by the individual hosts and their guests do not necessarily express those of this station or sponsors. Listeners are advised, but neither the station nor owners and agents will be held liable for the content of this program. Rebroadcast, redistributed, or reused without the express written permission without the host or producer is not allowed. You are listening to Family Spirit International.
Hey, Gwen, how's it going?
Hey, it's good. How are you?
I think having a show, just a quick show, on a day we usually don't have a show, on a rainy, stormy day is a great thing to do. We've got a very special guest today. We have the Palmetto Healing Arts, which is a program that focuses on mind, body, and spirit wellness, overall balance through the modalities of Reiki, life coaching, holistic workshops, classes, and they do group, private, and family meditation. They are in West Columbia, South Carolina, and we are going to speak specifically about, I'm so excited, sound therapy. So let's have Lynn Nitch on, and welcome, Lynn.
Oh, hi, ladies. Thank you for having me.
Welcome.
Hello, how are you?
I am so well, and thank you so much for having me to talk about sound therapies and how sound itself can bring healing and balance to the mind, body, spirit.
Yes. Could you explain how this works? What is the concept?
Okay, so to start with frequency or sound healing. Original sound frequencies and healings were used in ancient Gregorian chants. And the hymn, and some of you may not be familiar with it, but the great hymn to St. John the Baptist, along with others, were used centuries ago.
Oh, wow.
There's 6 main frequencies, and there was a guy named Joseph Paleo who rediscovered these healing codes, if you will. So we all know, or most of us know, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti. But the original frequencies were ut, re, mi, fa, sol, la, si. And these frequencies were known or thought to be believed centuries ago to bring healing to physical ailments, to emotional ailments, and to spiritual ailments. So this gentleman started finding references in the Christian Bible in the book of Numbers. Interestingly, that it's Numbers because the most powerful are 3, 6, and 9. And these frequencies correlated. So what are these frequencies and are they available today? They sure are. If you have a playlist of music, you can request a certain hertz, right, to listen to. So I'll go over them very briefly, the ut, re, mi frequency numbers, so that you'll have that actual hertz and what it does. So ut is 396 hertz. And it liberates us from guilt and fear. This is on the lower end of the scale. But if you think about music with a lower bass tone to it, a lot of times our emotions just release. We don't know why. We don't have to know why. But it said that frequency releases emotional blockages. As we go up the scale a little bit to re, which is 417 hertz, this facilitates change. It undoes situations within yourself, not for other people, that keep you blocked from facilitating the change that you want in your life. Now, me is 528 hertz. This is the sweet spot. This is the miracle frequency. Biogeneticists use this to repair DNA. So this is the one if you have physical pain. It also can be from trapped emotion, but this frequency releases, and it's considered the miracle frequency. So if you listen to no other frequency, 528 hertz is the one. Now, as we go up that scale, most people love lower tones because if we get to higher frequencies like shrieks and whistles, it kind of activates the fight or flight in us. But Fa is 639 hertz, and it brings back connection to oneself and heals the self so that you can be your best self in your connections with family, friends, and others. It is said to heal you so that you can heal relationships. We go up a little bit higher to soul, 741 hertz, expressions and solutions. This is the frequency I would say listen to when you're at work. When you need clarity of mind and mental stimulation, whether you're doing lists or writing things out, 741 hertz is really good for that. And the last one is law, and that's 852. And that's the one to awaken your intuition. So this is a frequency you'd want to use in your meditative practice if you're not aware of your spiritual gifts or using them and you want to figure out what yours is. Sit with yourself for a minute with that hertz and just be inward and still and see what you receive. Sit with yourself for a minute. Sit with yourself for a minute. So when we look at these frequencies, I did want to touch on binaural beats because a lot of people ask me questions about that. And then sound healing bowls and those kind of frequencies and what exactly are we doing with this sound? So sound moves energy. So if you think about the opera singer that cracks the glass, right?
Yeah.
The pitch gets so high, that is frequency. And we all know everything is energy and can't be destroyed and all of that.
Right.
So that energy cracks that glass. Now, with binaural beats, the frequency is so low, 4 to 7 hertz, sometimes 4 to 6. And if you think the Earth's vibration is 7.8 hertz for grounding purposes, but binaural beats are so low that they can put you in theta brainwaves. And that's the brainwave right before we fall asleep. So I have a pro tip here. Binaural beats, wear the headphones. Solfeggio frequencies or any kind of higher hertz, don't wear headsets. Let that frequency wash over your entire energy body within and without. So everything around us is we have a subtle energy body and our physical energy body. So frequencies of a higher end, no headphones. Lower end, headphones. Those really low ones will put you in theta. And sound bowls. Let's talk about sound bowls. So if we go back to the wine glass, and I'm sure many of you have seen water in them and they wet their finger and they make these frequencies and sounds across those glasses. Well, sound bowls are very similar, except these sound bowls, we have Tibetan and we have crystal. Tibetan ones are metal. They can be pretty much any size. It just depends on the creator or the crafter of that bowl to get that pitch perfect with whatever frequency they're trying to attain. So they're smaller and usually most of the time, and they can sit on your body at your energy centers, which are also called chakras, to bring balance at the exactly right hertz to your energy field. Then we have crystal ones, larger, same pitch. That each bowl coincides with the frequency of your energy centers, and it washes over you and brings balance. And people who go to sound baths or sound healing, I often tell my clients that come in for sound healing in the group sessions, some things you might experience at a sound bath. You might hear your ears pinging off of each other. It's a very strange feeling. Unless you've literally felt it, it's pretty hard to describe in words. Those are moving energy blockages.
Oh,
If you have,
wow.
if you have, that's that frequency passing right through your brain, through your ears. Other people have reported panic feeling. Now that's interesting to me. They're laying on a yoga mat, they're getting the frequencies washed over them, and they get a little panicky. That's because the frequency is moving energy away so that it's releasing. And our own consciousness, not subconscious, the conscious part of us is not sure we want to let that go. But the frequency washes over. So other ways you can use frequency is to clear your house, to clear your energy field. You can sound bowl around your body. You can shake a rattle all around to disrupt energy. Everything moves and is energy. We don't see the oxygen or the air, but we feel the wind. And our body feels that frequency as it washes over us. So sound therapy in itself is so healing. And then I can also talk about tuning forks if you'd like.
Yes, please.
Okay, so I do biofield tuning as well. So tuning forks, to get the perfect frequency of each of your chakras, will have different weights on them, and they will vibrate. So vibration is movement. Frequency is how fast we're moving. So they will vibrate at the correct frequency of the exact area of the body you're working on. Now, who determined what those frequencies were? Well, we'd have to look back into Hinduism and Buddhism and things like that. They've known for years. Science has finally proved, not finally, it was in the 90s, but I'm telling my age, that we have frequency around our body that everything does, even inanimate objects. So tuning forks held at a certain location on the body also brings balance. It's going to be the same pitch as those crystal healing bowls, those Tibetan metal bowls, and the tuning forks. They're all different tools to use to bring balance. Now, the outer biofield, or your energy body, I used to call it an aura, but once science discovered and proved it, now we call it a biofield. So it has a sciencey name. At the end of each of my client sessions, especially Reiki, I use a perfect pitch C, the note C tone, which is 174 hertz. So see how that's on the lower end? And the other frequencies we talked about were very high. So I go around the biofield with the tuning fork to clear. I actually use it to clear my space. I could sage or do other things, but you actually can use frequency to clear a space. It's energy in motion. It just keeps going. So I use a tuning field for clearing the outer biofield, tuning forks to clear the inner biofield, as an adjunct to other services that I offer. But it's really fascinating and so healing. So I know that was a lot, so I would love to answer your questions if you have
All
any.
right. So this one,
Yes, Tibetan.
that one is a Tibetan singing bowl. All right.
Yeah.
And then these are
Crystals, healing
crystal
bowls.
ones. Yes. And so these actually have the chakra color at the bottom of the crystal.
Absolutely. And they would be in perfect pitch. The creator or the maker of those, all of those bowls you just sold would be in perfect pitch. It's much easier for a sound facilitator to use the chakra colored bowls because they know exactly what they're doing. When you get all the white ones like that, and I do have a set of white ones, but you'd have to know the exact notes, like C note, B note. They all go with the musical scale.
Okay.
So.
And this is a bit of a review of what you were talking about, the delta waves.
Yes.
That's when we're asleep, right?
Yes.
And then the binaural beats can bring our mind into the theta wave frequencies. I will say that I own a piece of equipment called a mind machine, and it uses the sound of theta waves and then different colors that you see, and then it's everything else. There's no senses, you're not going to feel anything or see anything, hear anything. Everything's plugged up, but you're going to see the light and you're going to hear the sound. And most people have some type of paranormal experience.
Oh, I was just going to say, do you see dead people when you do that?
Yes, we do. And there's some other people that have had some really crazy things happen. He didn't have anything happen during the session.
Right.
He's a firefighter, and he was on his way home, and he passed by a house where he had put a fire out, and there was a death in the fire. And he looked, and the woman that died in the fire was standing at the window.
Wow.
And he looked up and he saw her, and he thought about her, and he acknowledged her. And then when he looked straight ahead, he looked in his rearview mirror, and she was sitting in his back seat.
Okay.
So they made a spiritual connection, during her death. And, death is the strongest energy moment in life. It's part of death. And, it's part of life, I should say. I did it backwards. But
no,
yeah,
I got you.
You knew what I meant. So he's going along, and he's like, oh, hi. I remember you, and wow. And then looks in the rearview mirror and go, oh, because I think she wanted to say thank you.
Oh, I'm sure.
Really
I'm
do,
sure.
because he got the family members. He and the whole team of firemen got everybody out, and but she perished in the fire before he got there. But she was still very grateful and saved the home, and it was fixed, and the family owns it. So I'll never forget that story. I actually have a video of him talking about it that I'm authorized to put on social media, because he wants to explain what happened. So I know that sound therapy will definitely change the way that your mind is thinking and what level it's functioning on. So so the next one was the alpha waves, and that's meditation and mindfulness. Okay, the beta waves were the one that you said to use at work, right? The beta waves?
For clarity, yes. I guess it would depend on what your work is, but it usually brings solutions. Now, interestingly enough, I don't know that you would know this, but I am also a psychic medium, and I have done.
I didn't know that.
Yes. So I have done extensive research to understand my spiritual gifts since I was a child. And I go between alpha and beta, but a lot of people get spiritual. What you were just speaking of in the theta, like that moment before we fall asleep, we might hear distant music or conversations and whispers. I've had that all my life too. Not so much now. Now I'm better understanding. Like, I'm not seeing nobody sitting in my back seat. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not opposed to seeing spirit, just not while I'm driving, because a lot of people don't understand that psychic mediums get spooked too. Like you appear in front of me. But so the brain, I've done a I don't want to see that in my rearview mirror. But I have done extensive research on the brain waves, and mine is alpha and beta. Like, I switch. It's very strange. Yeah. When I receive intuitive messages. So the theta, so when I'm starting to fall asleep, and if you have this headset, I've actually had something very similar on at a spa, and I was like, yep, I'm good. I don't even need to do that. But the messages come loud and clear when you're in theta, especially if you even have an inkling of awareness of your own intuitive abilities. But theta is a magical headspace to be in. That's where all the good stuff happens. That's what
Yeah.
I say. Like, and so if you get into the expression and solutions of 741 hertz, I mean, you know what? I have to say it this way. Most people would find solutions and a little clarity to calm down. But again, higher frequency can be connection to spirit. So the higher you go, even to 900 hertz connection with the divine. Yeah, I guess I would say I wouldn't want to be in theta while I was at work. So beta, which one did you ask me about? Beta?
Oh, yes. Let me get this chart back up. Wait a minute. I hit the button. There it is. So between engaged and busy with beta and very chill mindfulness is the alpha.
Right. So what I did, yeah. Did it say the hertz on there? I'm sorry, y'all. I can't see.
I
can't
don't
see
see
that.
a hertz. Gwen, do you
Okay.
see a hertz? No, let me get a hertz. Hold on. I'll go back and get the hertz. But I do have another question. I'm going to upload this picture to show you real quick before.
It does, but the picture is blurry.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm trying to look, but I'd have to stick my whole face in the screen to see it. Like, take my glasses off.
Blurry on the colors is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Give me just a second. All right. So I think is it going to show me? What? There it is. Oh, well, I'm talking to my computer.
That's all right.
You know, sometimes I have to just talk to it. I talk to my problems too.
And she does not behave.
No.
Yeah.
Is this what a session looks like when you do sound therapy?
It does, but my Tibetan sound bowls are a little smaller and look a little more like that first picture where it's sitting on a little ring, a cushioned ring.
Oh, like this one?
Yeah, so that sits on the body. That's what that little cushion is for. So that when it sits on the body, you can still play it without it slipping and moving and missing its frequency or vibration. So yes, I put the little, well, I think the biggest one I have is about that big.
I got a big mamma jamma.
Yeah.
I got a big one like this.
The one on your shelf?
Yeah, I think I might go get it in a second.
Yeah, my crystal bowls are big, but my Tibetan ones are not as big, but boy, those big ones, like what you're talking about that you have, the sound is, oh my gosh, it's just heavenly on those big metal bowls. It's just so beautiful. But our body, well, I have a set of smaller ones. I can't even imagine if we're talking about cost on one that size. I put more money into my crystal sets than the Tibetan. But maybe one day I'll have a Tibetan big bowl. Right now, I have so many sound bowls. I think my husband's like, what are we doing? Like, why are we doing this? How many do you need? Aren't they all the same note? And some of them are. They're duplicates.
Hey, this is an example of mine.
Oh, yes. So he's holding that to keep that a little still, that I can tell from the picture, which can affect the vibrational frequency if you have to put your hand on it. But, you know, everybody's body is shaped different. So whether it moves to one side, there needs to be some sort of stabilizer. So if you could set that on the belly, you probably wouldn't need to put your hand there just to kind of stabilize it as you get the sound going. But I love sound therapy.
I do too. I love the feeling of it washing over me.
Yes.
And I have an interesting thing about myself. My ears, I have a birth defect in my eardrums, and I can hear really high pitch and really low pitch, but spoken word is somewhat muffled. So if I'm at a football game or in a restaurant, I'm constantly saying, what, you know? So I don't know if that's helping me to hear, you know, or what.
And
I'm not sure.
You're an intuitive, right?
I'm psychic medium. Yep.
What is your clair? How do you receive? Do you hear it?
Oh,
Are you clairaudient?
I do hear it.
Yes, because I'm thinking of your frequency and tone. So I too am clairaudient and clairvoyant.
Yes. Yes.
And interestingly enough, I am 6 times blind, the legal limit. And my ears are like a radar. So hearing and the clairvoyance of seeing in the mind's eye. So I wonder if this is probably a broad statement, but like, I don't want to say that you have a disability, but you have a challenge, and I have a challenge, and we have this special ability that comes to us information in other ways.
Yeah,
So,
we're like a bat. We're like a bat.
yes,
Can't see, but we can
yes,
hear. Yeah.
that's
I can
how I feel.
sometimes I can see spirit and I can't hear them. So I'm reading lips, which stinks. Other times, and I say it stinks because I might get Ronald and Donald mixed up or,
Yeah.
something like that. And it makes it hard. Sometimes I hear and I can't see. I just love it when everything connects together, but it can never be just like that. So,
I always tell my guide, I prefer to be clairaudient. Just say it. Just tell me what I'm supposed to
just say
say.
it.
Let me
Just
say
say
it.
it.
Don't give
Darn
me
it.
pictures. Yeah. So I feel that so deeply because I just got back from Delaware. I was doing a clearing and a property walkthrough of a spirit that had moved into a barn and from the house and to the barn. And I told my guide, I said, look, you just gonna have to lay it out for me because this is terrifying, and I'm by myself. Now, my husband is a Reiki master. So of course he came along and we film all of our things we do. But I just wanted to hear, I said, don't let me see this fool. I just want to hear it. Just tell me what
Don't
I'm
let me
supposed to
see.
say. I
Oh,
don't want to see nothing. I just wasn't feeling 100%. And when you're feeling a little under the weather, you got to be really spiritually protected. And so I did. I heard my
God
guide
bless you, baby.
listen.
God bless you. It's so funny. I totally get where you're coming from. It's like, please
I
don't
know.
let me see this because I will totally trip. I've had situations where I've had spirits, my spirit, I call them guides, but they're my friends. They'll
Mhm.
get between me and something.
Oh
And,
yeah.
and just to make sure that I'm going to be able to be okay with something. And I sure appreciate it. I really do, because sometimes I just don't know what's coming. What
I
do you
love
do?
that because
I put a question up for you guys. That's
sure.
Okay, so Joe Smith says, so what about listening to ambient music?
Okay, so ambient music, all music has a frequency. Ambient music to me is just like background music. If you're talking about going to sleep, now I personally don't do that because of the brainwave thing, and when I switch into intuitive abilities in my sleep and do all this other crazy stuff like astral travel, that's probably a whole nother show. But it's
Yes, and we're
okay.
going to be doing that. Maybe you could come back.
Oh my gosh, the stories I could tell. So ambient music, all I will tell you is if it makes you feel good and you love having it, then do it. If it's not causing harm, absolutely. But I do want to say this. If you have like any kind of music app that you listen to, um, you can search for the specific hertz of ambient music. If you just want to hear healing music, usually the artist that created that music will tell you what frequencies are in it. So if you want to listen to ambient music, choose some that are good for your mind, body, and spirit, is what I would say. Ask your, I don't want to say the word because it'll come on, your Alex.
Yes,
If
thank you.
you know what I'm saying, everybody's in the room would come on. Ask it to play some healing frequency music. So that would be a great ambient music to have in the background. But that's a great question because we all love some ambient music. Make it heal you.
So Joe is saying 88D or If you
Look,
don't
we're
know what
all
that is, yes, if you don't know what it is, it's when the music goes around the head. Oh,
yeah,
in the phones. Yes, I remember. I'm going to show a bit of my age, but I like unusual music. Do you remember? I think it's Iron Butterfly.
yes,
That
yeah,
they actually do that where it goes around the
around.
head. If you have your headphones on and then you start listening, it will take you to a different spot in your head that you feel the sound is coming from.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I love that
So
song.
so with that 8D music, I am familiar with that. But Joe, I will tell you that that affects brain waves and synapses through the frequency and the movement, and it can create almost what Leitreanna was just saying, an internal experience of sound. And so, if you're asking how I feel about them, I'm going to give you the same answer. If you like it and it brings balance to some part of you, then absolutely listen to that. Certain people, it is very disruptive to their brain waves, very disruptive. It kind of makes everything fire. And it's not comforting at all. But then you have the other side of the coin where it is super comforting. So if it works for you, then use it. There's no, I don't, sound can cause harm. I will say this. So this is an important disclaimer. The binaural beats that people listen to in that low hertz 4 to 6, there has been some scientific research that has caused memory loss. So they're still doing studies on it, but long-term use of binaural beats, that's the one in each ear, not the all the way around. So I haven't read any research on the 8D causing long-term memory loss. I mean, excuse me, with long-term use causing memory loss. But that would be something I would be interested in, and I may have to look that up. But binaural beats are used for relaxation, to help with depression, anxiety, to kind of take you down a notch. But if you use it as a crutch, you could have memory loss. And so it's meant for short-term use to kind of rewire the, is it the alpha or beta? I've just lost it out of my head at the
That's
moment.
okay. We
But
don't know either.
yeah,
We don't know.
it messes with the waves in the brain
Hey,
that
I
affect
got a
the memory.
I got a chart I downloaded. Let's see. Is that
There
it?
you go.
Is that what you were
Yeah,
talking? Okay,
I'm
so there's
looking
10
at it.
frequencies.
So
Can you
they
read it?
have,
It's not blurry, is it?
no, not at all. This is
Okay.
great. So there's the
Woo.
963 hertz connect with light and spirit. So the 528 is the me, like do re mi. It is the repairs DNA. That is right. So they've added a couple few hertz in the other frequency at hertz. 174 removes pain and 528 heals it. Yeah, that's very, I love it.
Okay,
Absolutely.
I'll hang on to that and we'll bring it back up in a minute. But I just think one of the wait, I'm going to show it to you again. You see where it says the miracle tone of nature?
Yes.
I believe that a lot of music that I gravitate to has that tone.
Yes, it
Yeah.
does.
And and also one of the songs that I was talking about that is, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm getting my headset caught up in my blue jeans.
Lee, that's
Uh,
why we can work so well when that music is on.
that's what I'm
Think
thinking
about it.
too. Because I'll
Oh,
play the Celtic type of background nature music for Gwen because she's my little Celtic fairy, and I like 70s rock.
me
That
too.
little a bit of a grungy sound. 80s is okay, but it's almost too happy. I like it
Yeah.
real raw, you know?
Yeah.
And like Iron Butterfly, I like the Beatles, I like Elvis, but they have similar tones, just real raw sounding, no auto tune for God's sake. And
Correct. Right.
so I'm wondering if that's because we're at a sound buffet and this is my choice. And I really feel like this is going to sound stupid, but it's out there a little bit, but people that crave certain foods, it's
Mm-hmm.
because there's a deficiency somewhere that their body's saying. So I have moments where I have to listen to certain music, and it's like, what are you listening to that for? I get that all the time. I don't know, but I need it. So now I can say this is it. So
that makes perfect sense to me. That
yay.
doesn't sound hokey at all. I'm here for it. Some days I put on all kinds. Yes. Well, those are unweighted. Those are unweighted.
But that's the type of thing you're talking about, right? Okay.
Yeah.
I bought some, and they've got little different colors on it in order to connect it to the spine. I'm just so excited. Oh, and here's another one. I don't think I showed it to you yet.
Yeah. Very.
Okay.
Yes.
That's cool.
Yes.
So when we go into the psychic workshops for the class, we will be using this and the sound bowl and the tuning forks and the crystals together. Yes, thank you, Gwen.
Wow.
You put that up there, right?
Yeah. Well,
I've had a spirit. I've had a spirit here that's been like, how when you hold your phone and you go like this and then it goes, it rolls.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it did that to Gwen's phone the other day, and it's doing it to me today.
It did it last night and today too.
Wow.
Well, it's doing it to me now.
Yeah.
And I've had some crazy stuff. Oh, I have another epiphany. I'm just so excited, Lynn. I know you're one of us now, so we got to make this a regular thing. Okay, so I found out that my guardian angel's name is Ambrose.
Nice.
His name is Ambrose, and he's been on Earth since 1300s. He was the one that was trying to talk to us at the funeral home. And he finally came through today. Gwen, I almost called you. I could barely hold the phone. I was so excited.
You should have called me.
And his name is Ambrose, and he is super sweet. He's very powerful, very strong.
Angels are no joke.
Yes, he's extremely strong. And here's the thing: he's connected to other celestial beings that are no joke as well.
Yep.
So there she is. Jenny came back. I wonder if Jenny's got some questions. Jenny, I'm going to pull you up. You don't have to turn your camera on, okay? But if you have questions for Lynn, I want you to ask, okay? So I'm going to pull you up. Don't panic. Don't turn your camera on if you don't want us to see you. Sometimes we're just not camera ready. So it's all right.
I'm not either, honey. Look at this.
Right.
I know.
Well,
my
hair's wet.
I just gave myself a chemical peel. I'm quite red.
Oh, I need you to do that for me.
Yeah. I do have one question. I did ketamine therapy about a year and a half ago. And one of the things they suggested is, they want you to be your Disney self. And I'm a big metalhead and I love punk rock.
See, me too.
And I always like Nine Inch Nails is like my favorite band. And when I would do my ketamine, I would listen to a band called Tool. And that's
my go-to.
Oh my God.
It's real guttural. I love Tool. I love Korn. I like, anyway, I'm sorry. You're just saying all the words. Yes.
Great minds think alike.
Yep.
But because I've always been drawn to that type of music, and because I'm trying to heal and create new neurological pathways and all of these things, they were like, you need to soften it up.
Don't wanna.
I know, and it's really hard. But you guys remember in the 90s where there was like Enya, and we would have the chant album. There was like a Gregorian chant album that was popular. With like, I remember the BMG music service, you'd get your tapes in the mail.
So we're really telling our age here.
I can't help it. But when they told me that, I really had to kind of redo my playlists because my brain's kind of stuck in those frequencies. And I have found that by kind of trying to get lighter in my music, it has definitely helped with like depression and anxiety, because our brainwaves associate, I guess, with whatever we've fed it for so long. which is why it's comforting. Metal is comforting to me, or just like you said, 70s rock. I mean, Led Zeppelin, you know.
Oh yeah. And Greta Van Fleet, they've just
love them. Yes.
rebirthed it all. I will say something real quick, Lynn, because I want us all to discuss this, but this just ran through the brain and I better catch it while it's still there. I know that in indigenous music and indigenous dancing, that songs and dances and foods mean something.
Absolutely.
It's not just happening because you like the thing, that it is. It's happening because it's meant for something. So I'm trying this. The whole point of Miss Lynn coming on the show is because my new challenge is to have certain playlists that I've created, like what you're talking about, Jenny, that will, Victoria's coming on. Oh, that's great. Hey, Victoria. Thank you. I could bring you on in just a second. I have different songs that mean certain things or certain tones, like Leonard Skinner has the same tones, as some of Elvis's music and some of Led Zeppelin's music. They're all the same kind of sound. So I make me but that tone I realize is it's kind of like my anthem. It's like I'm conquering things. I've got the beat, even what is it? ZZ Top.
Yep.
I'll catch the beat and I'm stomping through something. So that's when I need to get something done. But I need to have something. I need a whole nother playlist now.
Okay.
For woosah.
Okay.
I gotta have this because I don't ever do that.
Okay.
I don't let myself do that.
All right. So
we're in the same boat, Jenny. Here I am.
Yeah. So this is fantastic. And I love that you have your playlist. And I hear what you're saying. In the native or indigenous people, gosh, I love indigenous music. That's what I listen to all day. That is literally the minute. And Jeannie has been in my studio, if that's who I think it is.
Jeannie, have you been to West Columbia studio?
It's me. It's
okay.
me.
Oh, okay. I thought that was you. Thank you for coming and supporting us here tonight.
Yeah. I'm going to add Victoria too, because I think she's got a question and that she might need this. Here she comes. Okay, and Victoria is a psychic medium also. She does readings and things. She's on mute right now, but she can hear us. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you, Victoria. So if you walk in my studio, you hear Native American flutes. Now, each flute has a different frequency or pitch. So if you're needing something other than what you already listened to for your clarity, healing, to get you going, whatever that is, try Native American flute music. It has all the frequencies, and I love to listen to Native American drumming and chanting. So in a past life, I was a Lakota. I have a long history with, not in this lifetime, but in another place. And I'm drawn to that. Like, I haven't collected
big time.
Yeah. So that's a whole nother conversation with some regressions I've been in to find answers about dreams that I've had over and over of being.
Yes. Gwen, this is what we were talking about on the way home. Yes.
Yeah. So
those reoccurring dreams, you're trying to remember something.
Yeah. So Native American flutes just speaks to my soul. So you can actually on your Alex also say, Alex, play me some Native American flute music, and it'll just play, and it's amazing for my soul. But if I love all of the same music, and for different things. So using music for different things that you're doing in your life, you don't have to give up. And that's what I wanted to say to Jeannie. You don't have to give up your love of those neuro pathways that are reactivated because of the music. Music is healing. Even if you play a guitar, even if you sing with your own voice, it brings in that. And I think it's interesting, Leitreanna, that you said several times the word guttural. Like there's something guttural there for you.
Yes.
That also is linked to indigenous people.
Yes.
So
yes.
that's your call. It resonates at a frequency that maybe you can't even explain, but that's a connection. So, so yes, continue to listen to the guttural, and you too, Jeannie. And Joe is asking a question, I think.
Yeah,
I
Joe,
did.
I'm going to put it back up. I hit the button. So he's talking about my new favorite band. Okay. They're Mongolian throat music. Talk about guttural.
Yeah, I was just going to say.
Wow. Oh my gosh. And my
So,
husband found it, turned me on to it. I can't stop watching it. They're gorgeous. But the instruments are ancient Mongolian instruments, and the music that they play is just intense.
yeah, I know
And
who it is. Yeah.
so I just love it. Those of you that has not, you know what? Let me just get a couple of, not just I was going to pull it up on my phone, but I think what I'm going to do is pull it up and then share the screen real quick. Not just about this particular group, but I want to hear some of these different tones. So let's see, healing tones.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see what I get into here. Full body frequency. So this one is 432 hertz to 741 hertz. Super recovery, healing, removing negative energy. Good God, I need to swim in that one. Okay, so I'm going to hit the button, and I'm going to share screens. Okay. Hopefully you'll be able to hear it. If you can't, I'm sorry. I tried. Let's see. Oops.
That's the emergency thing again.
Yes, it is.
I was going to say that's high pitched and probably not what we're looking for.
Flash flood warning until 9 p.m. This is why we didn't have class. So could you hear anything that was playing or just see it?
I didn't.
I didn't hear. I just heard the pitch of the flash flood, and I thought, oh, that's not.
There's another way around this. I'm going to do
Play
it
on
on
your
my
phone.
Yep, and put my headset to it. I do not have the rights to this music. I do not have the rights to this music. Healing frequency music. Oh, sacred geometry fits very well into this. And in this particular, okay, I'm going to have to take the thing off. I should have just left it alone, shouldn't I? There. It's talking about sacred geometry, so it's going to give us the geometry along with the music. So this
absolutely.
is going to be, of course, we got to have all that mess start. So this is a mix starting at 528. Can you guys hear it?
Yeah.
Okay. My ears just started feeling like woo.
Yeah.
Woo. Woo. Like I can feel my eardrum is.
Yeah. It's resonating through.
I feel this here, that tone. Here. Wow. So this is. Let's hear. So this is supposed to be for your whole body.
Yeah, I was going to say that's got to be a whole body frequency.
That one it feels like I've got another set of ears back here and I can feel it in the back of my neck. Okay, this one is 741 hertz. Okay, now this one, Joe, this one feels like that 8D you're talking about. I swear I feel like something is orbiting around my head.
This one is for expression and clarity in the mind. It works on the mind to, I mean, you can use it while meditating, but it's just below awakening your intuition.
Wow. So I should be looking for, that one was 741. Here is 852.
Oh, well, all your third eyes are going to be tingling.
Wait a minute, that ain't it. That was something else. It's got a Reiki master symbol.
Yep.
And it's
Chokurei.
Chokurei. Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Imagine doing a whole body of this, like do a whole session of this with crystals and Reiki. Oh my gosh.
That's what I do every day.
I would be glowing.
Mm-hmm.
I would be fluorescent. Okay, so Joe is saying something interesting. Do you have Spotify?
I do not. I use Amazon Music.
He said that you can create your own healing playlist and have people listen to it.
I have many healing playlists on my Amazon Music, but I don't know if I can share it like Spotify. I have my Reiki playlist, meditation playlist, healing frequencies playlist. If I wasn't on my phone for this session we're doing, if I was on my laptop, I'd just play you some of mine. So I use those frequencies during Reiki session with crystals on the body, tuning forks, all. It's a really magical experience. If I'm not listening to Native American flutes, like if nobody's at my studio, I put on Native American flutes. When I start healing, I do my Healing Hands playlist, which is the first video, Leitreanna, you played, like between, I don't know, 417 hertz and 700 hertz.
Yes. Somewhere
in there. And, you know, if I'm doing my own meditation, I'd probably listen to 852 or 932, those a little bit higher ones. So it just really depends. But yeah, if Spotify has lists, I'm sure all the music's available across all of the music apps. But if you have physical pain, like get a physical pain hurts. Like,
sorry.
No, please don't apologize. Do like 528 hertz for healing in the body. And I've had like sciatica or something. I'm at my studio. I put on the 528 hertz and just let that play.
Here you go. Everybody take a screenshot of that.
Lee, which is the first sound that you put on? Which one was that?
I'll go back just a second. I've already prepped for another thing.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Here,
okay.
Hold on. This is what Joe was talking about. This is the WHO, HU, not WHO. All right, and you're gonna hear my guttural music. I love this stuff. Oh God, get out of the way. Oh my gosh, I don't have rights to this song. I don't have rights to this song. This makes my eyes go back in the head. this one is called Wolf Totem. It's coming. It's slow. Come on, guys. There's one guy. He's on a horse, and he's got ancient Mongolian armor on, and he's got a flag. There's a spear and a flag, and now it's modern day, and the Mongolian tribe that's under him, they're all on Harleys, and they're riding in the desert, and all this, earth is here. And now, oh no, don't do that. Don't do that. I hit the wrong button. It does make my skin crawl too, Joe. Something about it is so kind. It awakens If you get the words to it, like underneath it, what they're saying is, if you come to me, I think this is the one, Joe, you'll have to let me know, but it says, if you come with an elephant, then we'll fight it to the end. If you come with your tribe, we'll fight to the end. Every bit of it is, they're in there. Oh, I'm turning it. It's just unbelievable.
That frequency feels like a heart chakra frequency. So I don't know if that group mentions what frequency, but guttural sounds, heart, solar plex. You would think throat. I mean, it clears the throat, but the guttural comes from the solar plex. And when we do guttural sounds, the science behind it is we get out of fight or flight. Even if it's rough, raw, grunge, like that kind of sound, I'm here for it. I love it. It still brings us peace in our energy body. So it may sound like noise to someone else that's a little less balanced. And I don't mean to sound discriminatory, but if you're really in touch with your solar plex frequency, guttural sounds resonate back with us through the centuries. It's got a whole Celtic bit to it as well.
Yes.
In the beginning, it sounds a little like, so my heritage in this lifetime is Norse, Danish, Celtic, all the things. That's what I am. And so I resonate with that a little bit more now, where the Native American music, I also resonate from the past. But yeah, I love it. I think that's working on the solar plex chakra and the heart chakra. And of course, the throat. The throat's a given. But lower frequencies, the lower tones put us in rest or digest. The higher frequency, like of your flood warning, shrill, shrill sound, too high gets us out of balance. So even listening to higher end frequencies for your intuition, for too long can really get us out of whack. So like, for instance, since there's several psychic mediums here, when you keep your frequency really high to tune into spirit, or if you're specifically doing that on purpose, like you're doing a reading or a walkthrough or you're investigating, when your frequency is really high for long periods of time, you need rest. You have to rest. Yep. We're not meant to be in this meat bag at such a high frequency. So you need to rest and get your frequency back with, I'm sure y'all know this, earthing or grounding to bring you back to center and yourself. And music and those frequencies can do that for you, especially if you do psychic medium work. And I haven't met a psychic medium that hasn't needed to rest. Like, I mean, how long can we go? So I do readings all day between Reiki, and my schedule is a certain way because Reiki never wears me out. But if I'm doing readings all day, I'm down. I need a whole day of rest. So we're not really, when everybody's like, raise your vibe. I'm sorry, I am well enough right where I'm at. Thank you. I will raise my vibe when I have to. But staying even keel in your own energy is key, because as psychic mediums, we do tune into that frequency, sometimes whether we want to or not, depending on where we are. So,
I'm going to throw this little sign up real quick, so hopefully Facebook won't take our show down. I do not have rights to this music. All rights reserved.
Perfect.
There. I'll say it again before we get off the show.
So is this a Facebook program?
It goes out on, at least 90,000 subscribers between Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. I've got 2 or 3 different pages on Facebook, and when you add all of those things up, it's over 90,000. And then it also goes on to another network, and eventually it'll be on Roku, and I'll let you know when that happens.
That would be great. Thank you. I do go live on Thursday nights on my page. So every Thursday night I'm live. And so I'll have to exit out shortly from our program tonight so that I can go do my live for my followers and subscribers. So I appreciate you all having me. I would love to
have you.
Sit and chat, get lunch, girl.
We would have a blast.
I need friends. I need friends that do what I do.
Oh yeah, well you're among friends now.
Thank you. So go ahead.
Anybody have any questions? Anybody in the comments? Jenny, Gwen, do you have any thoughts?
I just honestly I saved the pictures and listened, and the first one, the reason I was asking, the first one you played made me feel nauseous, and I don't know why. But my hearing's different. Like my vision's different than most folks. Yeah.
Well, you're a different type of. You're different than me as far as psychic medium.
Yeah.
The first one I played was 417.
Okay.
And that was the meditative mind.
That's weird, isn't it?
And then I went from. But here's one that's for your whole body. And I think we're going to go to bed early tonight and play some of these. And I'm going to try to figure out how to make this bowl sound like I want it to. 741, negative, eliminate all negative energy forever. 741. That was the next one. And then there were alpha waves too that we did. Here, let me put this up while I'm looking, because I would like for people, well, where did it go? There it is. Trying to put that back up real quick. 680 is third eye chakra, and that was the last one.
So the 417 is for Gwen. If that's the one that made you feel nauseous, the 417 is correlated to the sacral, which is the lower gut area. And that frequency wants you to facilitate change within, not externally, within. So what do you need to heal? That nauseous, that also has to do with the solar plex and those. Maybe you need your chakras balanced. Maybe they're over blending on top of each other and you need them separated. So maybe I do a 7-minute chakra balance with those frequencies. If you go on YouTube and you just look up 7-minute chakra tuning, it's like chanting and the frequencies. That's the one I do. And I try to do that every day. Okay. So try that.
I found this. It's 888. I haven't heard that one before, but it's
I haven't either.
Remove all blockages. It just popped up when you said that.
Must be needed, but I have never heard that either. I've never heard of the number of manifestation is 888.
Mm-hmm.
Or the
and
8.
This one is Say Goodbye to Cancer.
Oh, wow.
It's 10,000 hertz.
Oh.
I got to hear this. My son is Braxton, and of course, they've got a commercial.
10,000 hertz.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Let's see what we're looking at here. Is it the chimes? Oh, God.
I don't like it. It's pinging off my crown, and I mean, I understand. I don't like it, but it's a little shrill for me. But for healing cancer, I would stick with like 528, the miracle DNA frequency. But I think it's the chime. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like it has to be like what you said, Leitreanna, the chimes hitting like that
Joe
ding.
said it too. Yeah, no, we won't ever.
My
do
head's
that
like,
again.
No, we ain't doing that no more.
I need to go back to my little chanting men. Get that straightened out. Oh, God help me not to have to listen to that because I need it. Oh, most beautiful sleep ever. See, now I'm all into. You got my mind whirling, girl.
Yeah, let me ask Lynn one question.
Sure.
Lynn, I don't sleep long at a time, and I don't sleep much at all. And when I sleep, I don't really rest often. Any recommendations to start with?
Well, outside of addressing all the regular things like setting up a routine, do you do the same thing every night? Fix your screen so it protects your eyes. So if we go into frequencies, the lower the solfeggio frequency, if you're looking for music to play, again, we don't want earbuds in.
No.
So for sleep, you want to have it playing as that ambient music that someone asked about earlier in the background. What I would recommend, this is just a little, I'm also a certified meditation teacher, so I'm just going to throw this little thing in there.
Please.
You've got your ambient music that is lower end sleep. You can just YouTube music or whatever for sleep. But what I always tell my clients to do and my students is I call it a divine breath. You breathe in white light, fill your heart space and lungs, and exhale gray smoke. So what is the gray smoke? The gray smoke is not trauma. It is what is keeping you awake. I release it. It doesn't, it could be traffic from the day, worried about your schedule tomorrow. It's anything that doesn't serve your highest good that interferes with your sleep.
Okay.
So 3 times do that breath and just feel your whole body de-escalate. And you can do that for anxiety during the day too, but at bedtime, a system is important. How you go about bed, cutting off screen time. But there could be many other factors that are affecting your sleep. Do you have spiritual protection up? Can you put a bubble of white light around you before you go to bed? Though all of those things. But what really works for me, now I'm not that anybody wants to know this, but going through menopause and the hot flashes and all of these things, I'm taking lots of long, slow, deep breaths to get to sleep, but it works for me.
Right. Well,
so,
yeah, I've been dealing with it for years, and I was a paramedic, and we worked 24-hour shifts, and having to be alert and hearing the tones go off I messed myself up for years, and now I can't.
That's brainwaves.
Yeah.
But
I've tried all the screen stuff, the routine. I've tried all the obvious normal stuff. So.
Okay. Well, if you have to do something for insomnia for a short period of time, like take, what's it called? Lunesta or Ambien, just for a short period of time to reset your, what's it called? The circadian rhythm in your body for sleep.
Didn't reset it.
It didn't. Okay. So you pretty much tried everything. Yeah. Can you be hypnotized?
Yeah.
I have never tried that. I don't know. Lee, what you think?
Yep.
Easily. I would probably see a hypnotist.
Not so easily.
Not so easily. I would see a hypnotherapist for that. Now, I don't know where you're located, but I know a couple of them here around where I am that can help with sleep.
All right. Well, thank you. And thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me. I have thoroughly enjoyed myself and appreciate you ladies so much. And whatever it is you do to help others understand parapsychology, I love that topic. I had, when I was 14 years old, the University of Delaware parapsychology team came out and tested me for my abilities. So I do paranormal things and I've had many experiences, but I'm not really connected with anybody in West Columbia in the paranormal or parapsychology, just kind of everybody I know or that's around me. It's open to talk about those things. So I appreciate you all having me. I look forward to seeing you again from my heart to your heart. Thank you so much, guys.
You.
All right.
Bye.
You too.
Oh, that was very sweet. What a sweet lady. Well, thank you guys for watching and have a great night. Good night, Jenny.